Howdy banger fans, Blayne Smith welcoming you to another episode of Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. Hey, as always, hey, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel, you can head on over to our Patreon campaign. Give us a couple bucks. We'll toss you a couple things, you know, keep this thing going on. If you don't have a couple bucks to spare, you can just like, comment, subscribe, all that usual YouTube stuff. And if you like me, you can head on over to twitch.tv/metalcomedy. And I play video games, listen to metal. And hey, this Sunday, I am doing my Metal Monthly research on stream, so you guys can see my process. We can find some cool bands and make fun of some less good bands together. It's a great time. I hope you'll come out. But enough of that. It's been so long since I've done a review. I can't even remember the last review I did. So let's get into it. What am I reviewing this week? Not a metal band? What the fuck? We're stepping out of the comfort zone a little bit with Mogwai's new album. It's As the Love Continues. It came out today, February 19th, on Rock Action Records in the UK and Europe, and Temporary Residence Limited in the US. Let's do a quick little bio thing because it might be necessary here because you might not be super familiar with Mogwai. Mogwai are a big Scottish post-rock band formed in 1995. They've released 10 albums over that period, wow, and they've kind of released more albums because they also do a bunch of soundtracks which are like full albums, but they don't quite count as Mogwai albums, so lineup, we don't really need to go into because either you don't know who any of them are or you already know who they are. Yeah. You know, this was an experimental band, one of the first experimental bands I really got into when I was a young kid, and Craig emailed me and was like, hey, a lot of metal fans like Mogwai, should we review the new Mogwai album? And I was like, yeah, why don't we check in? They did that soundtrack thing, they got a little boring. Let's see if their records are still a little boring. Wait, hey, I see you. Guy there typing, BangerTV, all metal, guess not. Your friends asked me to just pull you aside and talk to you. You're a bummer, dude. You're bumming everybody out. You gotta expand your horizons. You gotta open up a little bit. I just, you know, just come on. Just, shh, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. The album opener is going to sound very familiar to anyone with a 90s, 2000s era Mogwai explosions, Godspeed period in their life. It's going to hit you with that warm feeling of nostalgia, and you're like, oh yeah, fun times, this was nice, this was good. If you're unfamiliar with that sound, it's a cool atmospheric build that has a touch of Bummersville to it that kind of gives it some depth and nuance and elevates it out of just lo-fi beats to study to territory. The next track, which is, God, the title's stupid. Here we go forever, plays an interesting trick on me by starting with an electronic drum beat that immediately gets the hackles up and I go, electronic drum beat, this is bothering me. And then it transitions to the same beat with real drums and it doesn't bother me, making me kind of feel like a prejudiced jerk. The song itself is a fun vocodery jam that kind of sounds like Mogwai doing a rat-a-tat song. Look, I'm gonna stick all the references in this review just right in that period. If you're new to Mogwai and you're kind of like, okay, but give me a nice harder rocking entry to the band. Either Drive the Nail or Ceiling Granny should do the job. Drive the Nail is a nice cymbal smashy, guitar riffy, build energy, peak and valley kind of jam. And then Ceiling Granny has an almost Dinosaur Jr. vibe to it. Like I said, all those references, boom, right in the same time period. Hey, when you were 16, did you skateboard and screen print? I got all the references for you. If you want to hear the album at its best though, album closer, It's What I Want to Do, Mom, is a 7-minute, multi-layered build that really closes the album out, puts it to bed nicely, and it exemplifies what makes Mogwai such a big band, which is their excellent energy manipulation. Over 7 minutes, they can really build a song up, and it feels much longer than it is. Not in a way that you're not having fun, just in the kind of distance they travel is impressive in that time. And it should feel at home to anyone who likes kind of more experimental metal. It's a different sound signature, but it's a very similar journey that, hey, I think you'll enjoy if you know, open your mind. Peculiarly, if you are unfamiliar with the band, then I've piqued your interest and you want to check them out. The 2 singles they released would be the worst entry points because they are the weakest songs of the album, I think. It's not that they're bad, they're fine songs, but Richie Sacramento sounds like a middle-tier ride song. And Dry Fantasy sounds like them at their most soundtracky, we'll say. A couple of days ago, they did release Pat Stains, the third one, which is what you heard off the top of the review. That's the one I'd suggest checking out, because while it's not as good as some of the other songs in the album, it is the best one to demonstrate that energy manipulation thing that I was talking about, where they take something small and then grow it, and it feels big. Like I said, not as good as some other examples on the album, but it does it, and you'll get the idea. But none of the album songs are really bad. I shouldn't say any of them are bad, because none of them are bad. It's just some of them are more background and some of them are more foreground. And normally with a metal band like this, it would be me losing interest in the record and then gaining interest in the record, and it would seem like a negative thing. But with their soundtracky nature, I feel like sometimes it being background and foreground is maybe intentional in design, so it's less a punishable offense. Yeah. This album reminds me a lot of that Paradise Lost album I covered a couple months ago. A while, a long time ago. Not in what it sounds like, but in what it represents, which is a band that's very accomplished, that's been around long enough for the band itself to rent a car, sort of doing almost like a retrospective, chronicle of their various periods. You know, it sounds a little new, it sounds a little old, but it definitely sounds like they should still be making music, because it seems like their heart's still in it. There's still some great songs in there. They're not just, you know, resting on the old laurels. Unlike the Paradise Lost record, I don't think it quite hits the heights that some of their older work has, but it's a really good album that is a great entry point if you're new, and if you're like me and you haven't listened in a long time, it really does serve as a good refresher on why you enjoyed the band so much for such a period of your life. So that's why I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 skulls that were absolutely screen printed by a 16-year-old. Hey, now it's shoutouts time. It's shoutouts, which are kind of related, but not really. These are going to sound very different, but I think you might like them if you like this, because I like them and I like this, so, you know, whatever, man. So up first, a Polish black metal band, SZARY WILK, released Wrath on Putrid Cult, came out today, and it is a black metal record, but it's got a cool, washed-over sound, and kind of, you know, feels similar to like a experimental post-rock band like this. It's aggressive, but, you know, there's that barrier between the aggression. And then also a great album that I briefly mentioned in Metal Monthly, but Gravesend's Methods of Human Disposal on 20 Bucks Spin is a grindy, black and deathy mess. It's great. It's amazing. Like I said, the only reason I didn't mention it is because a bunch of weird stuff came out this month, and you all knew I was going to enjoy the Gravesend record if you didn't know about it, and now you do, and I like both of them, and I like this record. So check out all 3, and check out below with a comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/metalcomedy. And hey, check out yourself. You're doing a great job.